to get my house fixed, but where do I get the money?
That's a question many of you are asking as you keep navigating Florida's struggling insurance market. We speak with one UPC policyholder to see what options you may or may not have.
And tonight, mothers are mad in Naples, protesting the newly passed permitless carry bill here in Florida.
Our goal is to keep our families safe.
We're live with their calls to action.
Former President Donald Trump making history today, officially arraigned in New York City, but pleading not guilty to dozens of charges.
We have live team coverage detailing the new charges we learned about in court as Trump now heads back to Florida with a message from Mar-a-Lago.
Live from Southwest Florida, you're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
History unfolding in our nation tonight with former President Donald Trump officially arraigned on felony charges. Thank you for joining us for Fox 4 News at 6. I'm Chris Earl.
And I'm Nadine Yanis, the former president facing those charges and facing a judge for the first time in U.S. history. And in just hours, he is expected to face the public.
And nearly 5 hours after his arraignment in Manhattan, we are waiting for his plane to land at Palm Beach International Airport.
Yeah, this is a live look of that airport as Trump is expected again to address the public from his Mar-a-Lago home in just hours. Fox 4's Shari Armstrong is joining us now, beginning, though, with what happened in that Manhattan courtroom today. And Shari, you are detailing the now dozens of felony charges here.
We watched the former president go through a process that thousands of Americans go through every day, but a first for a former or current president. Donald Trump processed into the Manhattan criminal court system, and we learned today he is now facing 34 felony charges of falsifying business records, and today he pleaded not guilty. The former president arrived today just before 1:30 at the district attorney's office in Manhattan, and hundreds of protesters were there in support and against Trump gathered ahead of that Trump's motorcades. Now, though hundreds of cameras captured video leading up to this moment, the judge only allowed 5 still photographers inside of the courtroom. These are some of the first pictures we saw today. You see Trump here technically in custody with his criminal defense lawyers. The investigation stemmed from a hush money payment made to Stormy Daniels, an adult film star, during the 2016 presidential campaign. Now, Fox 4 obtained what's called the Statement of Facts, which summarizes the case and the indictment itself. According to those documents, prosecutors say, quote, from August 2015 to December 2017, the defendant orchestrated a scheme with others to influence the 2016 presidential election by identifying and purchasing negative information about him to suppress its publication and benefit the defendant's electoral prospect, the defendant being their former President Donald Trump. So that means Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg says the former president worked with his team to orchestrate payments and keep some details out of the public's eye. Right after the arraignment, we heard from the former president's attorney and the DA. Now, we have not heard from the president, but both the Manhattan District Attorney and the former president's lawyers spoke right after the arraignment. Take a listen.
These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
He's frustrated, he's upset, but I'll tell you what, he's motivated, and it's not going to stop him, and it's not going to slow him down.
The former president is expected to speak when he gets back to Florida tonight. Again, we know 34 counts are felony charges. He is no longer in custody. And as Sofia Hernandez shows you tonight, some are already ready to greet him back at Mar-a-Lago.